Guys, it's the big day. It's 2 a.m, so I've had 3 hours sleep. I will drift off again after this. Obviously everyone else is still in bed, but it's pretty much fitting in with eating every 3 hours. I'd like to get as much food in as possible so that I can go on stage with an empty stomach. So we are due on stage about 3:30, so I'm probably not going to want to eat much after about 12. So I'm going to eat now at 2 a.m, 5 a.m, 8 a.m, 11 a.m, somewhere along those lines. So I'll get 4 more meals in. I'm going to start with 125 grams of uncooked rice, so 375 cooked rice, some pineapple, a bit of salmon chicken, salt that. I'm going to have about 250 ml of water with each of those meals. I'll just gauge the look. I've not weighed in yet. I'm definitely feeling drier. I'm peeing nicely. I've already had 2 since I woke up. I had 1 intermittently through my sleep. So I'm definitely feeling drier. It's a little bit difficult to get a good look through here, to be honest with you. That's probably better. It's starting to come through now. So we keep going. We'll see on meal 2. So supplement wise, everything pretty much stays the same. We'll be using the Expel on meal 1, the Peak Max on meal 2. We've got berberine and there's some Leopocket acid in there. And we have got just a tiny little bit of hydration drink. Glutamine, keep my stomach going nice. Pinch away rock salt, makes everything taste salty. Gram of vitamin C with each meal, about 200 ml of water. And that's about that. I didn't have any pineapple left, so I've got some dry fruit, just aids for digestion. We want to keep that stomach nice and flat. So I'm going to be full of flat stomach. Bon appetit. Okay, so we are 12 hours out, 14 hours out from being on stage at Masters Olympia. This is going to be a bonus video. This is probably not going to be released anytime close to the show. This is going to be showing you how I inject Medifol. Now I started using it into the shortened bicep that I injured. As you can see, it's a little shorter, not as full. Due to an accident that happened, training accident, it was actually a lightweight. I've warmed up adequately. There's your Medifol, you've got your thick version there, your thin version there. The thick version is what I use in my arms. I find it works better anyway. You don't have to put much volume in. Sometimes you can put too much volume of the thinner stuff in and it slips out into the muscle. Just going to move that out of the way. I've got Derek Lunsford playing in here as well. Okay, so we take the bicep, split into 2 because it has 2 heads. The split roughly is in the centre of the head here. And you tense up, you'll see there is the separation in the bicep. So if we follow this vein and go with this side of it, we're going to stay on the outer head and then we'll inject the inner head. And we're going to put an even amount in both so that we get an even effect, because you can get this wrong. Now I've built my tolerance up to about 1¼ mil in 2 parts of the bicep. So I'm going to find the middle point because you want it to peak up. So we're going to come in about here, peeking it up through there, and then about here, peeking it up through there. Always using your wipes. I'm having a second layer of tan later, so that will be dealt with there. I'll use this needle twice, so I will wipe that needle again. Okay, so I'm going to find that head in there. All the way in. Blue needle is much more easy to inject with. You don't want to use an orange, it's just going to be an absolute nightmare trying to push it in because it's quite thick. That's going to go in relatively comfortably. Just a touch more of that. Okay, so that's about 1 1/4 ml, which is half the syringe. That's going to go in there. As I said, I'll use this wipe here just to wipe because it's already gone in and there's already tan on me. So what should I get? Come a little bit higher up into the bicep. And that's the outer head of the left bicep done. Now, it will take a while just to kick in. That's the start. I will use that syringe again. That needle I won't use again. Now, I've pierced the ball so I can pull it straight out into the syringe. Otherwise, it just takes ages. Again, we're going to get 2.5 ml in there. And we'll put that. I'll do that in the left bicep as well. I have done another one there already, but just for the sake of that video. So, fresh needle. There we go again. So we'll wipe the area, and I'll use the wipe there again, the second wipe there. So this time we're going to go into the inside of the head here to fill out through there. So a little bit here and here. Pop that head up nicely. Deeper you go, the better. Get under the muscle belly, and it's just going to push the muscle belly up and out instead of making it look misshapen. Wipe that again. And I'll go into a second spot in here. So that's a total of about 5 ml into the left bicep. I won't use this one again, I've got plenty of wipes. So if you do get a little spot of blood, just apply pressure to it. There's actually no blood on the others, just the one spot there. So just apply a bit of pressure to that. And that'll stop it scarring up. I'm going to actually go for a massager for this, and like I say, I'll have my second base tan done, top coat done later. And that's basically it. I'm going to do the right arm. I don't quite put as much in the right arm because I found when I just do the left, it does change the shape of it a little bit. And it pops a little bit more than the right, and then it can look more obvious because although I'm doing it because it's torn or partial tear, it's still, you can still see it's a partial tear, but it just looks fuller and bigger. It doesn't look quite as short and quite as small. But if I only do that one side, that one looks bigger and fuller than the one that's actually attached properly, and then that creates a problem. So that's why I do both. Okay, we're actually going to go into the lat stack. Now this one doesn't quite open as much as this one, so we're going to add a little bit into there. Here we go. Now I've run out of the thick stuff, so I'm going to go with the thinner stuff. Again, let's pull out that. Full 2.5 ml. green needle is going to make it so much easier to inject with it being in an awkward spot. So we'll use that. It's at the top now. So where I put that top. And this one a little bit higher up into the lap. And that's the lats done. Now you've got to be careful what other muscles you do because you will blur definition. For example, I've got quite straightened triceps. If I start to do them, mess about with that, you can lose some of the feathering. So it's not worth doing that for me. Keep the feathering. The triceps are okay anyway. The biceps are a single, well, it's a dual head muscle, but it's very obvious clearly where both heads are, so you can put both into that. You could put some in your teardrop, for example, if that was a weak area. You could potentially put a couple down the outer sweep if you were struggling with outer sweep. Again, that's something that I don't need to worry about. But it is something that I've had clients do. You've got a little bit lack of outer sweep, just put a mil down in sort of like 4 different spots down the leg, here, through there. So a smaller amount, just add that little bit of sweep to the side of the quad. The rear delts is another one sometimes people use, but I really would minimise this, okay? So he started putting it everywhere, it's just fake. I only started doing it because of the bicep injury. I had to do the right one to match it out, and the lat one is just something that sometimes the scapula won't open. So I put a bit in there. If I've got physio appointment, I'll do that instead and I'll get it out perfectly. So just be aware, it can be used, but don't start putting it everywhere. It's not a fake competition. Okay, 5:30, meal 2. Bit of salmon, chicken, and 125 grams of rice. Peak Max with this meal, 7 of those, and the last lot of anabolics are going to be transparent. We've got 30 milligrams of Winstrol, 20 milligrams of Halo, 10 milligrams of Superdrol, and 20 milligrams of Proviron. That is usually what I have pre-workout. I will then have another 30 milligrams of Winstrol, 20 milligrams of Proviron at some other point during the day. And that's about that. So let's get this down me. I'm probably going to go for a very light massage around about 7 o'clock. And then it'll be time to eat one more time, and then we'll be heading off for our tan, which I believe is 12:30. So we're gonna have to leave here around about 11:15. It's quite a trek, and we'll do a video check-in actually before we leave, before we have a third meal and a weigh-in. Obviously the weigh-in's done now. I was 101.8 at the weigh-in, having missed I missed a meal and didn't drink any water for a little bit. I have reduced the water significantly now. Still having my supplements in my water, but significantly less, 250 ml per meal. Just watching a video here, science-backed workout split. I've been seeing a lot of stuff now that's been fitting into my mold and thinking of increased frequency. A lot of people seem to be pushing this upper lower, but nobody wants to train upper body as much as lower body. Everybody likes to train upper body more. So I've created a different split, posterior, anterior. It's the same sort of idea, increased frequency, but there'll be a little bit of, so the posterior will contain the quads, and the posterior will contain like calves and hamstrings, and the anterior will contain the quads with the rest of the front of the body. And it's just a way of increasing frequency and therefore increasing volume per muscle, but you're still keeping higher workload up because you're not fatiguing one muscle too much per workout. So I'm actually going to take my off season. I'm never going to compete again. This is the final destination, Tokyo, and what better place to do it, I might add. But I am going to prove this theory and attempt to get bigger than I've done before without using more anabolics, probably less if anything, but I'm going to increase the training frequency, and we're going to try and build more muscle and just walk around big, basically, just not do the diet, because that's the stressful part, both in my own personal life and in my physique. I will keep an eye on blood pressure. That's the only thing that gets out of control, or it has got out of control in the off season. It's very good at the moment. It's about 128/72 at rest, so that's really good because my body weight's low, and that's even with a load of anabolics in there. Okay, so it is body weight that seems to be the killer for that. So I'm not necessarily going to try and get heavier, but I'm going to try and use some of the peptides that I've got from Thoroughbred Labs, continue using my illegal nutrition stuff, and keep my weight probably around about just over 18, where I feel like I don't get the sleep apnea. I feel good, I perform good, but just try and grow into that weight and just see if I can make improvements with the added frequency without actually just pushing heavier for the sake of being heavier. And we'll see you for a video check-in in about 2 hours. So weighing done, 101.3 kilos, come down a little bit, so obviously dehydrated, looking dry, still looking full, but we need to get some more food in, and we've got 125 grams of oats, 30 grams of jam, 30 grams of almond nut butter, a couple of slices of dark chocolate. I'll just give away protein. Actually better than insulin, forget about that. Obviously being type 1 diabetic does complicate things. As I start to dehydrate, my insulin sensitivity does change quite dramatically, so I've been using quite a lot of insulin. But we're in a good spot right now at 5.4, so that's about perfect. I've taken my monitor off, the Dexcom, so it's not on me when I'm competing, so I've had that off since my tan yesterday, and we'll put it back on as soon as we get off stage. Keep the wife happy.
Nailed it.
So here we are, it's all come down to this. Backstage, Tokyo Forum 2025 Masters Olympia final show. Let's have a look. Women's bodybuilding going on shortly. I believe wellness have been on. And I think it's physique on now. Oh, there's Louis. Who's this boy?
Alright.
You mate, alright.
I've just got to go and try and chill.
How's she going?
Amazing, top 10.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely top 10, I think.
Right.
It's a really good happy July.
Right.
But it's always the same. She's on first.
So that was Louis Davis. Yeah, he's with Carly Thornton. She's just finished wellness. She was in the second call out. I think they only called out 4. He sent in the first call out, so she was second from the middle. So there's 2 in the middle, 1 on the outside, so she could be anything as close as what, 6th, 7th, 8th, hopefully. Based on those call outs, they usually have pretty good accurate description of where you are. So that's good, top 10. Anyone getting in the top 10 at this point, when there's 25 minimum, 30 in my class, it's a good effort, because this has been a tough qualification period over 2 years. There's a lot of good athletes already qualified, and obviously in the top 5 from the year before, and then special invites from certain countries around the world where there's not as many shows. So it's on. We've got Ilaria Armenia. She is now, she's got a gym in Blackpool. She's on in physique. I'm not sure if we've got any bodybuilding women. Don't think we have. And then me and Louis are in classic. I'm not sure we've got anyone in 212 in for the UK. So, the call is made top 10. Hopefully Ilaria can do the same, and me and Louis can do the same. Let's see. Well, we've not long stepped off stage. Really tough lineup. 13 in the lineup. I've got to be honest, I knew it was going to be tough. There was some in the first call out I didn't think was going to be there. There was some in the third call out that I thought were going to be better. I was in the second call out. I'm going to find out right now if I made top 10. It's going to be very close, to be honest with you. It's going to be 10 for 11. So there we are. 54, 62, 65, 67, 68, 71, 73, 80, 81, 82. Unfortunately, I was 70. Not to be. 30 athletes. It was always going to be a tough call. I've been ill several times. So it's always going to be very, very difficult to. Well, I'm never going to beat second. It's always going to be difficult to equal it. But I've got to be honest. I came to see Tokyo. That was the main reason. I was happy in retirement. I'm still happy now. I mean, I was in the second call out, so there was 6 in the first call out. There was 6 in the second call out. So at the worst, I was 12th. 11th or 12th. But to be honest with you, whether I was 11th, 12th or 10th, it would have been nice to have done my routine in the top 10. But I get to enjoy the rest of the weekend now with the family in one of the most vibrant cities in the world. So here I am, signing out. Thanks for watching.